Breaking news tonight on ABC 17 News at 5. Just in the last half hour, the Missouri House did not get enough votes to override Governor Jay Nixon's veto of the controversial right-to-work bill.
It's all part of the 2015 veto session at the Missouri State Capitol. Our crews have been in both chambers of the State House today. ABC 17's Joey Parker is covering the Senate, and Joe McLean is following the House. We start with Joey. And Joey, the Senate will not get a chance to vote to override this veto.
That's exactly right. It will not make it across the hall to the Senate chambers just because it didn't sustain it. They didn't get enough votes to override that veto, so it is sustained. Now, 4 of Governor Nixon's vetoes, though, have been overridden by the House, at least, and they are HB 618. Now, what that does is it allows someone other than a doctor to determine the cause of death for someone in Missouri. HB 722, that's the so-called plastic bag ordinance. Now, that's, of course, big to our viewers in Columbia because of the talks of banning plastic bags. If it passes through the Senate, if the override it happens in the Senate, then that means that won't be allowed to happen. But something buried in HB 722 that we haven't heard much talked about is it would prohibit local municipalities from raising minimum wage in our state beyond state and federal levels. So that's going to be talked about quite a bit as that moves on. Now, a couple other things that have happened. HB 1022. It has to do with insurance. It would allow insurers to refund some premiums to some customers. And certainly, by far, though, HB 116 is the right to work vote. And Joe McLean has been in the House chamber all day covering that. So we'll check in with you, Joe.
About 30 minutes ago, the House voted to sustain Governor Nixon's veto on House Bill 116, also known as Right to Work. The House chambers were filled today with supporters of the bill and also those opposed to it. Of course, Right to Work would have effectively outlawed the forcing of workers to pay union dues in the state of Missouri. Nixon said when he originally vetoed the bill that it would squeeze the middle class and hurt business owners in the state. Representative Eric Burlinson, who first introduced the bill and today reintroduced the bill, said it was an issue of worker freedom and rights.
Why are we so afraid to offer this same level of freedom of choice that we give to police and fire and teachers? Why are we so afraid to give this same level of freedom and choice to those in the private sector, Mr. Speaker?
The vote came in 96 to 63, just 13 votes shy of the House supporting the override. And now, of course, the bill will not have a chance to go before the Senate. And we'll pass it back over to Joey Parker, who is outside the Senate chambers. Joey?
And Joe, thank you. Now that these partially overridden veto measures will come across the hall to the Senate, they gavelled in just a short time ago, so I'm going to get back in there and monitor that, and we'll check back in with you on ABC 17 News at 6. Live from the Capitol, Joey Parker, ABC 17 News.
Thank you, Joey. And you can also follow the veto session online at abc17news.com and our Facebook page. Well, another dry and warm day around mid-Missouri, but we are expecting